Hello, everybody. Watermelon, how you doing? A random watermelon has appeared. Francisco Rivera, Hasim, Lil Shu, Conrad, Pokemon Boy, Ray, Levi, Joey, Coco. How y'all doing? Welcome to Culture Catch-Up today. Get your questions rolling in, and let's get excited for some Pokemon Boy, Ray. Some good conversation led by, mostly you guys, where we're going to be chatting out about all things going on in major movie and television news. I'll continue saying hi to some people snapped away. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Chandler, I came once, I saw, get in here. There you go, get in here. Thank you for joining, Skylar. Isaiah, how you doing, my man? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Glad y'all rolling in. Do me a favor and smash that like button for me. There you go. Get in here. YouTuber things. Thank you for joining, Skylar. Let's talk now. How you doing, my man? Let's talk now, Mathrow. Glad y'all rolling in. Do me a favor and smash. Sharon, how you doing? Teague, you made it. How you doing? Way Metal, welcome to community member yet again. 3rd month, I believe. Thank you so much, dude, for big fat support of the channel, the community, and always being here.
Teague, you made it. How you doing?
Wait, Metal, you're not snapped away. That's your first time being a member. Thank you. I was so surprised by that. I was thrown off. There's double audio. Now there's not double audio. Thank you for letting me know, Watermelon. Sorry, Way Metal. Thank you so much for becoming a member and supporting the community. I got you confused with snapped away, but I do apologize. Asim, how you doing? I just fixed it, Isaiah. Do I think Toby will not be in Spider-Man? Honestly, I am 93% sure the other 2 Spider-Men are going to be in the film. What's up, The View with Drew? How you doing? I'm pretty sure I fixed it, but let me know if it didn't. I think Toby will not be. It sounds like I did. Honestly, fantastic. Watching from the Philippines right now. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. What did you miss? Nothing. We just started, Kenneth. You missed Way Metal becoming a member because he's the baller shot caller. I'm gonna spam some emotes at him because members get emotes. And send. There you go. Do I think Andrew's in this movie? Yes, I do. I think they're both, or all 3, I suppose, is in this. You're about the delivery people say Tobey Maguire is Tom Holland's Uncle Ben. I have not heard about that. That'd be pretty crazy, guys. That'd be pretty crazy. While we're starting off, I would love to thank the sponsor of the video, Coldest Water. There are links in the description down below. You can get 10% off. And Coldest Water is like a lot of the water bottles you've seen out there today. However, I've owned several different brands, and this is my favorite. And I'm not just saying that because they sent me the bottle. It actually does a fantastic job of keeping ice in it all day. You can get a little bit of inscriptions on the back. They sent me Cosmic Culture on mine, which is super fun and super awesome. They have a large variety of sizes and colors. Recommend you check them out in the description down below. And like I said, you can get 10% off using code COSMIC10. All right, now let's get down to the real stuff. Watermelon. I'm just going to keep my hopes down in case there isn't Toby or Andrew in the film. All right, that's a very good strategy. The real question, and I would love for your guys' opinion on this. Do you think if Toby and Andrew aren't in the film, okay, but everything else we've heard is true about Green Goblin, and, you know, we've already seen Doc Ock and Electro. We already know that that's true. Would you be disappointed if the other 2 Spider-Men don't show up? That's a real question. So give me your honest thoughts on that. You know, Mysterio makes a return. We get all sorts of different villains. Sandman shows up. Lizard shows up. Tobey Maguire has to fight them all on his own. Andrew and Toby don't end up showing up because for whatever reason they couldn't get the actors to join, or they didn't want other Spider-Mans distracting away from Tom Holland and the MCU. But they don't show up. Everything else we've heard is true. Would you guys be disappointed? Or would you still be just as hyped or just as excited about the film? Doggo, how you doing? Let me know your thoughts. Does anyone else kind of hope that Doc Ock kills Green Goblin or the other way around? I feel like they won't get along. They definitely won't get along, and they're actually pretty famous for not getting along in the comics, to be completely honest. Doc Ock in the comics is usually the leader of the Sinister Six. because Green Goblin's a little bit of a psychopath, a bit of a crazy person when he's, full Green Goblin down. And we see that in the first Spider-Man movie where Green Goblin's running around trying to kill Tobey Maguire, trying to kill Spider-Man, and he kind of loses his touch in reality. So it would be interesting to see, because you're right, I agree those two will have a clashing relationship, I believe, but I do think we will see them on screen together. All right, let's see what some of y'all said about my question. I would be really disappointed. That's what Meaning Angel said. It would be disappointing, but would it ruin the movie for you? Isaiah said disappointed but not upset. Fair enough. I would be disappointed if the other Spider-Man do not show up, says Ninja Paws. Brendan says, yes, I will be disappointed. Kenneth says, would still be an amazing movie, or awesome movie, sorry. Waymetal, the new member, says, I would say there should at least be a tease for the others to show up in Multiverse of Madness, maybe. Very good. I would put dirt in Sony's eyes. I would be disappointed because everyone has hyped it up. I wouldn't be disappointed yet. If we never got them all in a movie, I'd be disappointed. I want to see a separate Spider-Man film. Okay, so some good answers, good responses coming from you guys. I agree, it would be disappointing for sure, no question. Would it ruin the movie for me? No. Do I think that the inclusion of these two Spider-Men, you're talking about 4, maybe even 5 generations of people watching these different Spider-Men, from, people who were 25 years old when the first one came out, 35 years old, all the way to now. Those people, that was 20 years, those people are 55 years old. If they're still interested in seeing Tobey Maguire on the screen again, please don't spam, guys. Please don't spam. I'll get to your questions. If you put all those people in the film, then what's going to happen? Just all of these people are going to come, and it's going to be the greatest movie of all time. But if we don't include them, then I think it will lose that generational excitement. That's what I think personally. Would I cut my hair to be in the MCU? I mean, depends on the role. Let me do a put user in timeout. Guys, I don't want to put you in timeout because I'm not your daddy, but I will if you don't stop spamming. I would see it as a bit of a disappointment, as it would be a missed opportunity, but I would not rate the movie down because of it. See, that's a good opinion, Marvelous. Thank you for sharing, guys. And all of you guys who shared your opinion. None of you guys have bad opinions. Your opinion is yours. Don't be swayed by what I think or what somebody else thinks. I'm just always curious to hear what you guys do think, because I do think overall is very important. Who is the strongest member from the Sinister Six? What's up? Sotos, thank you for joining. Who is the strongest member from the Sinister Six? Now, in the there are multiple different renditions of the Sinister Six. But I would argue that it is probably... Venom isn't a Sinister Six rendition. I would say he's one of the strongest. Scream is in one of the Sinister Six. Doc Ock is probably the smartest. But I would say Venom's probably the strongest. I don't think he'll be in this Sinister Six, so I'm going to say Doc Ock or Green Goblin will probably be the strongest. I do need a mod watermelon. We'll hopefully get to that. I haven't actually thought about it just yet. All right. So keep on, you throw your questions in. We can also talk about all of the stuff going on in major news this week. It doesn't have to be just Spider-Man. That's just what people are most excited about. So why not just dive right into that? But Shang-Chi, we can talk about. DC news. Flash has some new images and news coming out. Jurassic World Dominion, Matrix news. Any questions and answers about major movie and television news? If I know the answer, or we can look it up real quick, whatever you guys want to do. The purpose of Culture Catchup is to talk about all major movie and television news, so do not be afraid to ask any questions. I'll try to get to as many of yours as I can. Thank you to everybody for being here. Let's see what else we got out here. It's probably mixed with fans, but if Willem Dafoe shows up, that'll be pretty cool. I feel like the majority of fans, I'd say 85 to 90% of fans would want to see Willem Dafoe. So... I would assume, one, that he's in the film, just based off of stuff he said in a lot of interviews. He said in a ton of different interviews that he doesn't want to talk about movies that haven't come out yet, and different things that are definitely insinuating that he's in the film. Plus, that was his laugh. That was his laugh. No question asked. But I think most people want to see him. Green Goblin, because he has the glider and bombs, he has the advantage. All right, somebody thinks Green Goblin, somebody thinks Doc Ock. Very interesting. Do I think Ned will become Hobgoblin? That'd be kind of crazy. Something tragic would have to happen to him, and it would be like a cliffhanger at the end if he were to. Who formed the idea forming the Sinister Six? I didn't read the comics. Or you don't read the comics. Well, Spider-Man was the brainchild of Stan Lee. I don't know for sure if Stan Lee continued to create all of the villains, but Spider-Man is Stan Lee's baby. I'm going to say most of the villains included in there were also created by him, so I'm going to say the Sinister Six is a very old group in the comics. Very awesome, old, classic Marvel group of villains that all show up in the Spider-Man universe, that all showed up in all the Spider-Man comics, as well as other locations. So I'm going to say probably Stan Lee if I had to guess, but I do not know for sure. Rhino, Mysterio, Scorpion, who do I think will be the sixth one? So I actually did a video this week, earlier on, I want to say Monday, maybe Tuesday, where I talked about the missing villain from the trailer. And I think there aren't going to be only 6 villains in this movie. I think we're going to get Scorpion, we're going to get Vulture, we're going to get Mysterio, and all the other people have been guessing up to this point. So I think the Sinister Six won't be formed until after this movie ends in a post-credit scene or at the very end. I think there's going to be maybe 9 or 10 villains in this film, and a few of them are going to die or disappear. You hope they change the Green Goblin design. I hope they don't change it too much. I hope they keep it somewhat similar. Annette, yes, of course I do. You asked a lot of questions. You were there for a long time, and thank you for participating and being involved. I'm getting all sorts of notifications. Hold on, let me mute this crap. Where is the mute button? Mute. Mute. Thank you. And mute. Very good. Alrighty. SM Edits says, I think Marvel's going to pull a Captain America Serpent Society. They'll change the name of Multiverse of Madness to Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. What do you think? I'm going to say no. I think that's a clever idea, and it would be a really cool move for Marvel to do. But I think Multiverse of Madness is kind of the lead up from Loki, WandaVision, Spider-Man, and I don't think they're going to take that away. You know, Serpent Society was going to be boring. Let's just be honest. Another Captain America taking down some type of hierarchy would have been boring. And that was just kind of a funny change. But I think overall, the Multiverse of Madness is going to be one of the most intricate and exciting MCU films we are going to have up to date. I think Spider-Man No Way Home will probably do better because of the hype and the nostalgia and the excitement of all of the fans. But I think Spider-Man, Multiverse of Madness is going to be one of the coolest Marvel films that we are going to be getting in a long time. So do I think that the MCU will be able to keep this multiverse villains? I hope they do. I'm afraid Secret Wars will reset everything. Eventually, everything, I believe, will be reset. Now, what that means, will be reset, I don't know. The whole Secret Wars idea might be a little bit ways down the road as well. The big question for Secret Wars is, does Doctor Strange at the end of Multiverse of Madness reunite the single universe? Does Order come back? And then you have Kang lurking in the background, only to be opened later because, you know, Kang does something and the whole multiverse blows back up again. And now the whole purpose of this was to understand the multiverse. Or does Doctor Strange fail in bringing order to the multiverse and it stays open? And we're in this winding road of all of these different universes, characters coming from who knows where to create the Secret Wars. I do not know CBR. I've talked to a few different YouTubers, you know, Real Rejects, Soups, Brad. Obviously, I know Warren very well. I've never talked to CBR. Do you play the Miles Morales video game? I just finished it. No, I do not have a PlayStation. I've always been an avid Xbox user and a PC player. I never actually did get the Miles Morales game, although I've heard it was a lot of fun. Way Metal says, do I think we will get all of the past Spider-Man movie villains besides Venom and Hobgoblin? I think we're going to get most of them. I don't know about all. I don't think Rhino's going to show up. I think that's just beating at a dead bush. I think that's over. But I do think we will be getting a lot of them. So that's my answer. Ismel, hello from Wakanda. Thank you for joining. From Wakanda, that's crazy. There was a rumor that Toby will die at the end. Do I believe that? I believe one of them will die, yes. It will probably be Toby. And I've also heard rumors that Andrew or Toby, whichever one remains alive, is going to be getting a continuation, another film in the MCU, which will be a part, not with Tom Holland, just a separate, another film in the MCU universe. My assumption is it would be Andrew Garfield, who never got his third movie. But yes, I think it would make the most sense if they're going to kill off a Spider-Man to kill Tobey Maguire. And let me tell you, that would break my heart. At the end of Homecoming, Vulture refused to tell a criminal in prison Spider-Man's real name, so I don't think Vulture will be in it. He seemed like he wanted to protect Peter. You know, that's a possibility, and leaks and toy leaks and all sorts of stuff are hard to follow, but there was an official Lego toy set that was set in marketing, prototype that was sent out that we saw that had Spider-Man No Way Home written on it, and it had a Vulture minifigure. So, Lego leaks, of all of the toy leaks we get, Hasbro, action figures, Funko Pop, all of them, Lego leaks are usually the most reliable. So the fact that we saw a prototype box of a Spider-Man No Way Home set with Vulture in it makes me feel like the possibility of Vulture showing up is pretty high, just based off of the amount of times we've seen Lego leaks, and they've all been very accurate. Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, Spider-Man Far From Home, all three of those had huge Lego leaks that gave away actual plots. Whew. Okay, like what I meant by reset the multiverse is they may go back to their own universes. I don't think that Spider-Man No Way Home will end with them back in their own universes, and I hope, like you said, Multiverse of Madness doesn't end that way either. But we're going to have to wait to see. Multiverse of Madness, they have kept under lock and key. I spend my entire day doing research, looking up leaks, looking up information, what's real, what's not, making videos, going live for you guys. I've seen very, very little, like close to nothing about Multiverse of Madness. They have done that good of a job keeping it under lock and key, so we'll see what happens. Yes, finally someone who plays on Xbox. Yes, I have an Xbox. Usually I play PC nowadays, but I grew up playing on Xbox, yeah. I think Ned will become Hobgoblin? I think it'd be cool. It really depends how much more Spider-Man we're planning on getting. I know a lot of people think this is Spider-Man's last film. My expectation is that we will be getting more, and hopefully that's the case. Three Spider-Man against 7 or more villains, no wonder one of them will die. Yeah, and I just think it will really, movies that have repercussions, that have real repercussions, have a deeper meaning. Characters that die and don't come back give a movie a feeling of reality. If Black Widow showed up tomorrow and they're like, oh, you know what? Doctor Strange did a magic spell that made it so that she's alive. That would lose so much value. So it'll be hard to say. It'll be really hard to say. My favorite game right now is Far Cry 3 from Mostly Almost. You know what? Believe it or not, I've actually been playing probably Rocket League the most. I played it a lot when it first came out, and my brothers and I, we played a ton. We play competitive. We're kind of decent. I know it's kind of a lame game, but it's just what I've been having the most fun playing right now. I'm not really into any games right now. At Cosmic Culture, when do you think No Way Home second trailer will debut online? October or November, perhaps? Or would November be too late to release the second trailer? Daniel RPK said we should be expecting one in October, and he is, say what you want about the guy, he's a very, very reliable trailer date release source. Very, very reliable. So, I would expect it in October based off of what he said, sometime around Eternals release. Or, not Eternals, sorry. The next Eternals trailer that will be released. Which suit do I think Andrew Garfield will wear? The original ASM suit or the one from ASM 2? I think every character is going to be wearing their most updated suits. If that makes sense. That's what I believe. Same thing with Iron Man or Wolverine. Same thing with all... What? I would like it if they put the person who is Harry Potter as Wolverine, the person who is John Wick as Ghost Rider. Okay, so Keanu Reeves is John Wick and Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter. You guys want to hear my personal opinion on that? And that's nothing against you, Pokemon Boy. Those would be fantastic picks, and I would love to see both of them do it. I actually think Daniel Radcliffe, if he got jacked up, which he's an actor, he really easily could with the resources that they have, would be a perfect Wolverine. He's short, He's got all the hair on him. I think he could do a very good Wolverine. The problem is nobody would see him as not Harry Potter. And John Wick is not old. But if we want to see these characters for 10, 15 years, John Wick's too old. I want for them to pick 2 people that nobody knows who will play the role perfectly. And I know sometimes that seems like very difficult or a lot of work or really hard. But I don't know. That's my thought on it. I would like to see a recast with new, fresh actors that nobody really knows that well. But those 2 picks that you picked, Pokemon Boy, are very good picks. I would love to see. I mean, Keanu Reeves as Ghost Rider, that would be so cool. Which suit do you think Andrew Garfield? I answered that already. Hi, Chris. Oh, I've lost whatever I was just looking at. It disappeared. I was reading something and now it's gone. Somebody said that they were editing a video and now they're going to bed. I didn't see your name and the comment disappeared, but thank you and have a good night. Could mutants appear in Doctor Strange 2? If we're going to get mutants anytime soon, it will be in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I don't know for sure. I'm not guaranteeing you that that's going to happen. It would just be the easiest thing to do. I don't think the Multiverse of Madness will end in the Multiverse of Madness. Looking back at Loki and Kang coming, I don't think the multiverse will only last 2 or 3 years. Will end in Multiverse of Madness. I don't think you're wrong. I don't know, though, because they could sew it up, you know? So the Multiverse of Madness could end with Doctor Strange thinking he's fixed everything, not knowing about Kang, and then, you know, a few years down the road, it blows up again, and now all of the fans who have been following know what's going on because of how well they explained it. And that's something that the MCU over maybe DC, for example, is doing very, very well, is explaining to people who don't know anything what's going on. Now, yes, you have to watch every show and every movie, and you have to be into it to know. You can't just show up to a movie and know what's going on. But they're doing a really good job of explaining everything. And that might be what this entire first phase is about, is explaining the multiverse. And then at the very end, Doctor Strange is like, all right, it's patched back together. Hopefully that'll hold it. And then it blows up later. But we'll have to wait and see. Do you see them playing Danny Elfman as Hans Zimmer, Spidey music for Toby, and then... Oh, they better. Yeah, sorry for cutting off your question, but 100%, they better use Hans Zimmer and Elfman. Hans Zimmer, fun fact, is one of my favorite composers. Fantabulous. But, yeah, no, they better use their music 100%. Do I think we will be the see where all 3 Spider-Men chilling or eating pizza time moment, please? I think we're going to get something like that. My personal pick is that it's the Spider meme where they're all pointing at each other in front of the police truck. That's what I hope it is at first, and then maybe at some point we'll get some really cool laid back, you know, we're all still kind of young eating pizza. Toby's a little older, I suppose, but, you know, they were all kids who didn't have a childhood because they became Spider-Man so young and blah, blah, blah. Talking about Ben. Maybe we'll hear how each person lost their Ben, and we'll actually get to hear Tom Holland's version of how he lost Ben. That would be kind of cool. We'll have to wait and see. Imagine if they did a comic-accurate Vulture costume, Michael Keaton flapping his arms. That would be awful. I loved the way they did Vulture's comic. You know, a lot of times people complain and say, hey, we need to have a proper outfit built for these people, and if it's not, then it's not comic book accurate. I'm all right with renditions and changes, and Vultures is an example of a really good one. No entiendes inglés? Pues perdón, porque este stream es en inglés. Pero bienvenido al stream y gracias por estar aquí, aunque no hablas inglés. Do we think that Doc Ock was talking to Tobey Maguire instead of Tom? Because how would Doc Ock know that Tom is Peter? It's difficult to say how the spell, you know, so the whole idea of the spell was to change reality and perception of who he was. So it's possible that the spell's mistake or whatever went wrong with the spell causes everybody to assume he is Peter. It's really hard to see. It's really hard to see. A comic accurate Electro, that would be really funny to see somehow. I think they could do a good job with it instead of like a fabric star, like an electric star coming off his face. That'd be really, really cool. The Great Harry B. Hey, bro, whenever you release a vid, my brother's nonstop talking about it. Love the content, bro. What's your opinion on Deadpool 3, and when will we be getting it? Thank you for joining The Great Harry B. You can tell your brother I said hello. My opinion on Deadpool 3 is it has an opportunity to be a masterpiece. And I don't say that lightly. I think Deadpool 3 has an opportunity with the people involved in it, with Disney, and just Ryan Reynolds overall, the character. It could be hilarious. Have you ever seen Lion King 1.5? And if you haven't, I'll explain it very briefly. It's about Timon and Pumbaa going behind the scenes and causing all of this stuff to happen in the original Lion King. It's really, really funny. It's different scenes, like at the beginning of Lion King when they're raising up the cub and everybody bows. It was because Pumbaa walked by and farted and they all pass out. I think if they do something like that with Avengers Endgame or Infinity War, where Deadpool is actually going through using the little time changer he has, going through and causing all this stuff to happen, like a Thanos ship to fall or an explosion, anything in the background happening behind the scenes the whole time, it would be one of the coolest MCU inclusions and collaborations in the history of movies. I don't know if they'll do something like that because Endgame is such a big movie. I don't know if they want Deadpool touching his fingers all over it, but it would be a lot of fun to see something like that. Those are my thoughts on Deadpool 3, and I can't wait to see what they do end up doing ultimately. Whew. That was a mouthful. Daniel's Hot Topics. I heard the Sandman will betray the Sinister Six and help Spider-Man, and Goblin will kill Sandman with a water pumpkin bomb. That's very possible. I've heard very similar ideas and thoughts. In the trailer, it does look like at one point Sandman is actually protecting Spider-Man from Electro. Maybe he was attacking him as well, and it just looks like it, and that's what they want us to think, but I wouldn't be surprised by that. They left off on a pretty good accord. Spider-Man let him go. He apologized. They moved on. Have you heard the rumor that Wanda will fight someone from the Fox universe on Multiverse of Madness? Of course I have. I've heard it will be several people from the Multiverse of Madness, including most of the Illuminati that currently exists, the MCU Illuminati, and it will comprise of Professor X mostly will be the leader, and that will be very exciting to see. Do I think Christian Bale has a chance to come back as Batman in The Flash 2022? I did a video on this yesterday, and yes, I do. I actually do believe he has an opportunity and a chance if he wants it. Do I know if he'll take it? No. And here's the reason why. His trilogy, what we got, was pretty much the best trilogy of Batman you can have. The 1, 2, 3 movies, not necessarily everything, not necessarily the best Batman piece we've gotten, or even the best Batman we've had, but the 3 films in their entirety create just a perfect Batman. It's a masterpiece that people enjoy, that has a lot of reputation. The Joker and his inclusion, Bane and his inclusion, all very good renditions. And if he decides to join the Flash, he's opening back something up that's already good and doesn't need to be touched. So I believe the actor and anybody involved in that would probably want him to not join so that he can feel a little better about not destroying his reputation. And he's also busy being Gore the God Butcher in the MCU. So I don't know how involved that character is in Thor Love and Thunder, and if he is more involved, he wouldn't really have time to go over and do a DC film, especially since a lot of them have non-compete contracts where they can't go over and do DC stuff while they're filming MCU stuff and vice versa, but we'll have to see. Anthony, muchas gracias por estar aquí, por juntarse con el stream, y perdón, pero el stream is en inglés. Yo, Spider Mercy, how you doing? Really can't see the Illuminati happening. Reason they haven't been used in the M word officially in a film yet. Use the M word. Marvel never does things without being a foundation or origin story. And I agree with you on that. But it could be a very slight hint, and this could be the beginning of us seeing them. What Marvel does do is they include characters way from the future to have them built on later on. I don't think there'll be a main show of Multiverse of Madness. I think Multiverse of Madness is already going to have enough stuff going on, but it is possible they could give us a small inclusion or a montage scene of Wanda just going through destroying different things from different universes, and one of those 5-second clips is her destroying the Illuminati, and that gets included. We'll have to see, though. I think that maybe Andrew Garfield may die in No Way Home since his series was poorly received, and I think Toby will get a Spider-Man 4 in the MCU. I would love to see exactly that. I don't know that I would love to see anybody die, but it would be very meaningful if he did. Yo, I will go to sleep. It's 12:07 here in Germany. Good night, man. Good night, Loki. Thank you for joining. The Great Harry B. If you could be any Marvel superhero, who would it be and why? I always get asked this question, and I never have an answer. Ever. I don't know who I would be if I was given the opportunity. Who would you guys cast me as? How about I reverse the question? Who would you guys like to see me as? And if you say Thor, hair can be cut and I could be anybody else. Yes, I kind of look a little bit like Thor right now, but I could be anybody. Not that I would be upset with being Thor. Do you see Daredevil getting a new life and Charlie Cox makes an appearance in No Way Home? What do you mean by a new life? I definitely think he's in the film. I definitely think that is him. But I don't think we see him as Daredevil. We just see him as a blind lawyer. Sotos, what is my favorite Spider-Man movie? So I actually really enjoy the Tom Holland MCU inclusions just because you get to see Spider-Man with Iron Man, or hopefully in the future Spider-Man with Deadpool, which I'm really hoping for because those two are my favorite team up in the comics. But I loved Tobey Maguire's rendition, the inclusion. The first film is just, for me, a masterpiece of all sorts of different childhood nostalgic memories. So that's hard to beat because it's different reasons why I love each of them. I don't even dislike Andrew. A lot of people don't really like Andrew Garfield's movies. I think he was a really cool Spider-Man. I don't think he was a really good Peter Parker. If they get Toby and Andrew to play Spider-Man in No Way Home, I will cry. And if they don't get Toby and Andrew to play Spider-Man in No Way Home, I will cry harder. Well, you're in a lose-lose situation, aren't you? What is the best Spider-Man actor, not your favorite, the best one who did the closest to Peter Parker? So I always say, Spider-Mercy, this. Tobey Maguire was the best Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man. Tom Holland did the best job of being both. Think about that for a second. Spider-Man is a very sarcastic, witty, almost alter ego to who Peter Parker is. Peter Parker is a shy, they describe him as nerdy, smart, college boy who's too scared to talk to girls. And being Spider-Man makes him a little bit better, but most of the time when he's just Peter Parker, he's quiet, he's a dork, he's goofy, he doesn't know how to communicate himself very well. He never had a father figure, and that's all inflected in his life as well. So, think Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. That is perfect Peter Parker. And then think Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker. Well, he was kind of cool, and he's a really good-looking dude, and I don't care what you say, he wasn't a dork. He's sitting up on the rooftop, listening to music and doing his doodles, and he tried to play like some kind of shy, quiet Peter Parker, but he's too cool to do that. But his Spider-Man, he was really funny, he was really sarcastic, he had that alter ego nailed down, and he had the abilities, he had the look, he was slender. I really liked that Spider-Man. Whereas Peter Parker from Tobey Maguire, his Spider-Man, still had those attributes, but you could still feel the dorky Tobey Maguire coming out through that. Now you have Tom Holland, who really is fitting Tom Holland, that fits the idea of dorky Tom Holland, who's nerdy and scared to talk to girls, not necessarily very athletic. And then when he becomes Spider-Man, he fits that Spider-Man very well as well. He has the sarcastic comments, the funny jokes, the Doctor Strange, oh, we're using our made-up names, I'm Spider-Man. All that stuff that really makes me feel like he's got what it takes to do both the best. That was, again, a long answer, but what do you guys think? Toby did a great job as Peter, but he is not a good actor. His facial expressions were very weird. It was also a long time ago. You got to keep in mind, acting in the early 2000s was different than acting now. What if the post-credit scene in No Way Home is Miles Morales? If that's the case, that would be very exciting. I think there is a lot of more exciting stuff they can do. Not that Miles Morales wouldn't be exciting, but just my thoughts. I think there are more exciting things for them to reveal in the post-credit scenes. Tom is geek pretty. Tom Holland? Yeah, he's like kind of like nerdy. He's not like, oh my gosh, look, it's Zac Efron, or look, it's Hugh Jackman, or all these gorgeous men out there. Ryan Reynolds. He's kind of dorky looking. You're right. People are telling me that they think either Nightmare or Mephisto is controlling Doctor Strange, and do I think this is true? No. I think that's too much. I think you've got to remember, we are all 110 people sitting here watching this with me right now, super fans. We're dorks. We know all the details. It wouldn't be confusing for us if Nightmare or Mephisto were Doctor Strange, but the majority of the people, 60% of the people watching the movie are not sitting here. Imagine if 800,000 people were watching this, then maybe it would be different, but no. 110 of you guys are watching because we're the dorks. Those people wouldn't understand what a Mephisto or what a Nightmare was. It would be very confusing. It would be out of left field. It wouldn't make sense. So no, I don't think that is the case. Gold Pizza Brains Comedy. Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. What would you like to see in a post-credit scene? That's a really good question. So let's think about what we know from Phase 4. I think I would like to get an update on Kang. But I don't know if that would make sense because I don't know how long until Doctor Strange is going to get information about Kang or know what's going on. And we're probably not going to get an update about Kang until Loki Season 2 comes out, which we know is confirmed and is currently happening right now. But it would be cool to see more behind the scenes multiverse stuff happening, which is also possibly what we're going to get as Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness is going to lead directly from this. And so it's going to be something to do with Doctor Strange. It's going to be a huge cliffhanger about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm hopeful that that's what we'll get. We'll probably get two. One will be about Spider-Man, something like, oh, Ned becomes Hobgoblin because he got injured and now he's crazy, or something like that. And the other one will be about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. JJJ, after he sees 3 Spider-Man. I haven't thought about that. There's 3 of them! I want all 3 Spider-Man on my desk now! That'd be hilarious. Actually, that's a really good thought. Can I imagine Emma Stone back as Spider-Gwen and her interactions with Andrew Spider-Man after TASM2? I do not believe Emma Stone is coming back, as she was pregnant during the whole time that they are filming this. I've also haven't heard anything about it other than the fact that we want her to come back. I do not believe she's coming back, but it would be super cool if she did. I think we're going to see Wanda in the PC scene. Very, very possible. That'd be a cool post-credit scene as well. Wanda and Doctor Strange interacting in the post-credit scene would be really cool. Do you ever think that Venom and Spider-Man will ever pop out in a future Spider-Man movie? I think that's Sony's goal. I don't know if Marvel will let that happen or what, but we'll have to see. I got to do some stuff, but I'll be listening, just not chatting. All right, Waymetal, thank you again for becoming a member, supporting the channel, always being here and chatting. Just a blast to have you around. Appreciate it, buddy. I think Ned won't fit a Hobgoblin very well. I agree. I think that he plays a really good best friend of Peter Parker, but I don't really see him as a villain, no. The only time I saw Mephisto is in Ghost Rider 2007 on Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. And to be completely honest, that had nothing to do with the MCU, and I'm not even 100% sure what he was doing there. It was weird. I heard we may see the Fox X-Men universe. Will Chris Evans return as Human Torch and Jessica Alba coming back as the Invisible Woman? No. The Fantastic Four are one of the prized positions of Marvel Studios. Not Marvel Studios, Marvel Comics. They are the first family in the MCU. They are an incredible group of people. The MCU is going to want to do their own spin, their own take. They're going to take their time, and it's going to be super, super cool. Hey, dude, do you listen to Scaled and Icy? I've never heard of Scaled and Icy. So no. Wanda versus X-Men leaks from Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, I've heard about the same thing. We were talking about them not too long ago. It's very possible that something like that's going to happen. I have no clue. Multiverse of Madness really opens whatever doors it wants to. Whatever doors it wants to. All right. I personally think Ned won't... we just did that one. I heard... Nope, did that one too. Do I think we could see Big Chungus in future Spider-Man movies? Spider Chungus. No, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm sorry. I like your little Among Us logo, though. What are my thoughts on Venom possibly showing up in this new Spider-Man? Thanks. I do not think it's going to happen. Sorry. Especially since the next Venom film sounds like it's going to be delayed until after Spider-Man Far From Home. Or No Way Home, sorry. And if that's the case, it definitely has nothing to do with any of the upcoming Spider-Man projects. Word on the street is it might actually end up getting delayed till 2022, and that would not affect Spider-Man No Way Home, which sounds like it's pretty much guaranteed to come out December 17th, unless something crazy happens with the world. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But I do not think Venom's going to be involved in the near future of Spider-Man. Hopefully down the road, though. I don't know why, but I want them to bring in Galactus. And they will, Ninja Paws, don't worry. This is going to be a ways down, like phase 7, 6 maybe, when we get the first tease for him. Because they're building up to something pretty crazy, and we're just going to have to wait to see what it is. Who is the Sith sinner? I don't know. What if Spider-Man No Way Home post-credit scene is going to be Gwen? That'd be really cool. Like I said, I think there'll be 2 post-credit scenes. I think one will be Spider-Man related, and one will be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, future of Marvel related. Galactus is cool and all, but I hope Doom is added and given the proper respect he deserves. I also agree, and that would be perfect for Secret Wars, because Doom in Battle World, the comic series, Lord Emperor Doom was actually the guy running the entire thing. So it would make a lot of sense to include him, but again, that is a very loved villain that comes with a very loved group of characters, the Fantastic Four. They're going to want to take their time. They're not going to just throw him in there, and we'll have to wait and see. Spider-Mercy, we were talking about this not too long ago. I don't think that there will only be 6 villains in this film. Now, that is my own personal guess, and it's very possible that I'm wrong. I like to make some crazy guesses sometimes. Everybody's talking about who the 6th is. I think there'll be 8, 9, maybe even 10 villains in Spider-Man No Way Home. And at the end, maybe a post-credit scene, they will be formed as the official Sinister Six, which will either be, the fourth Spider-Man movie for a different character, or Tom Holland will deal with. I do not think we've seen the end of Tom Holland anytime soon. Whew. I do hope Mysterio is alive, though. Didn't somebody say about their plans with Venom will be more clear when Spider-Man No Way Home comes out, or vice versa? Super detailed, I know, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. I do know exactly what you're talking about. Warren actually did a video on this not too long ago. I would say that Sony is just trying to be as involved in MCU stuff without being involved as possible. They want us to think it's all going to be connected so that we're excited to see the second Venom movie. I'm excited to see it. I just don't think it's going to have any direct relation to Tom Holland yet. Maybe down the road, because the multiverse is open, they can steal him real quick and give him back, and that's part of Sony's deal with Disney in order to allow for Tom Holland to stay even longer, to have Spider-Man even longer, but we'll have to wait and see. Hi, I just finished brushing my teeth. Did I miss anything? Very possibly. Very possibly. How do I think Multiverse of Madness will be after the possibilities No Way Home? How do I think? I think Multiverse of Madness is going to be, and I said this earlier in this stream already, so sorry for repetition, it's going to be one of the craziest Marvel movies we will have up to date. Maybe not one of the most successful. Spider-Man has the nostalgia effect. Endgame had all of the character effect and the big hype, but I think it will be one of the craziest films we will get in the Marvel cinematic multiverse in a very long time. Is this going to be your 40-minute live stream or 1 hour? I try to make them to last about an hour. If people are here chatting and I still have the energy to do it, I'll keep talking. I say a lot of words in the hour, so sometimes I get a little tired. But if everybody's here and interested in chatting with me and I still got more stuff to say and people are asking new questions, I'll try to keep going. I try to make it last at least an hour, or usually around an hour. Once Spider-Man comes out, a bunch of people cosplaying as the main three Spider-Man and Bully Maguire's dancing in the theaters. That'd be a lot of fun. I hope theaters are open and available for a lot of people to go and enjoy this film together. Do I think the old villains will have suit upgrades? What would make sense? What would make sense? I also want to see the old Green Goblin suit. So almost in every movie, the villain gets an update. Spider-Man gets an update. Spider-Man's had 10 suits already. I think all the villains will probably get updates as well. Yes. I think everyone giving MOM credit should also remember Eternals also looks very fascinating. Don't get me wrong, Eternals looks gorgeous. It looks like a very interesting, different film from anything anything Marvel has set up, but this is an origin story film. It's not a sequel that has connecting characters in it. It's mostly going to be explaining who the Eternals are and what their importance is going to be moving forward, where they've been this whole time. And there'll be some huge conflict in there that has to be resolved, and a big, huge reveal that, something was something and is very important for the future. It's not going to have as much of an immediate effect on the MCU, I believe. Multiverse of Madness is going to have an immediate, direct repercussions from everything that's been going on around it, and in the future of the MCU is all kind of depending on what happens in Multiverse of Madness, which is why I am slightly more excited for that. One aspect of Multiverse of Madness that not many people are really talking about is the horror fan. I'm excited. Okay, so stop, Corey. That is also one of the reasons I'm most excited. I'm a huge horror fan. Huge horror fan. Now, I don't think Multiverse of Madness is going to be something horrific. It's not going to be something jump scares, stuff like that. But having a dark tone in the film is exciting me a ton. Like, I'm very excited for the tone that they're giving us, the direction they're putting us in with the film. And maybe we'll get Midnight Suns or other things that would really just excite me a ton. The Land Southerner Land. Thank you for subscribing. Sorry if I butchered your name. Out of all the Spider-Man suits, what is my favorite? I love the Iron Spider suit. I know not a lot of people do. It's not a typical Spider-Man outfit. I also like the one in No Way Home where he had the wings underneath. The Spider-Man comics I read, he had the web wings when I was younger. And I loved seeing that on the big screen. Another off-topic question. What if Weasley Snapes would be Mahershala Ali's mentor in the upcoming Blade film? I am not a Blade expert. I apologize. I've seen it one time, the old one, not the new one, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, so I don't know all of the lore. I apologize. I hope Green Goblin changes a bit to show the face expressions because Willem Dafoe is a great actor. That'd be cool, and I do actually think that Norman Osborn is going to play a big role, not just Goblin. We'll have to see. Disney ain't doing horror, man. Sounds exciting, though. Disney, it's not a horror like, oh my gosh, this horror film, but it has a horror aspect. I don't know if that makes sense or how to explain that, but that has been confirmed by Kevin Feige and the current director. They actually had to change ways with the original director, but, you know, I do believe that they're going to have a couple darker moments. Like, think about WandaVision towards the end when we were seeing all this crazy stuff happening with these witches that were skeletons, and it was dark. It was different. And I think Multiverse of Madness is going to be a little bit more of that. Epic Cool Kid 25, thank you for subscribing. Little Shoe, thank you for subscribing. Hey Chris, I apologize for coming here late. I've been very busy and stuff. I've been watching your videos and I'm pumped for Spider-Man No Way Home. So yeah, sorry again, man. No problem. Always a pleasure to see you in any involvement. Like the video and comment. Let me know you're there. I appreciate you always showing up, even if you're late. Not a big deal. Imagine we see a scene there of Spider-Man changing into their suits and they accidentally change into different suits like Tom and Andrew's suit or Toby in another suit. That would be hilarious. That would be a lot of fun. Maybe they're even like, can I try your suit on? Or, you know, they change web slingers. I guess Toby couldn't, but everybody else does. That would be really funny and I would enjoy seeing that for surezies. For surezies. Let me refresh real quick, guys. Don't go anywhere. 46 minutes ago. Okay. Do you think there's any possibility that an animated Miles Morales from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse pops up in No Way Home, even if it's a brief moment with going through different universes? I don't think that that's going to happen. I think they're going to want to create their own new character for that, and although it would be cool, I just don't think that that's the direction they're going to want to go. Do you think Willem Dafoe will become the Iron Patriot, the leader of Dark Avengers in the Dark Avengers movie? And that's completely possible. I do believe, personally, between the Dark Avengers and the Thunderbolts route right now with Valentina running around, they're leaning towards the Thunderbolts and not the Dark Avengers. But if Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe sticks around to be Norman Osborn in the MCU, that would be really cool. There's a huge plot leak going around right now that says that Norman Osborn from Sam Raimi's universe is going to kill the Norman Osborn from the MCU universe and take over. And that would be cool. But we'll have to see. If he has, you know, a hidden alias and nobody knows who he is, for some reason, Tobey Maguire never gets that information out because he was Goblin most of the time, and then at the end, he becomes Norman and kills the Norman of the MCU. That'd be interesting. What if Aunt May will die in the movie? Oh, why would that be so sad? What didn't you know, SM Edits? This isn't Spider-Man question. Did you know about Shang-Chi before the movie was announced? Did I know about the character from the comics? Yes. If that's your question, yes. I actually have read a couple Shang-Chi comics. Let me tell you, he is incredible. Very, very powerful in the comics, and I've seen the movie already, and super, super powerful in the movie as well. He's going to be a really cool addition to whatever the MCU uses him for down the road. Did Toby ever pay his rent in his universe? Probably not. Why would he? Why would he? He knew he was going to the MCU in the whole time. Ian Vines, thank you for joining. It's going to be a Spider-Man Dimensions film. Probably. About Disney being dark, we just watched Cruella and was surprised with how dark they went with the background of her, and Disney does and didn't seem like a Disney movie. Did you like Cruella though, James? I loved Cruella. I thought they did a great job telling her story. We're getting a Cruella 2. It surpassed expectations. I am enjoying the live action villain stories like Joker, like Cruella. I think they're a lot of fun. I would like to get some in the MCU actually. I'm going to cry when I see Toby again, dude. He's my childhood and my favorite superhero of all times. I grew up watching Tobey Maguire on VCR, rewinding the movie, putting it back in on playback over and over again. I'll probably be in the same boat, Money Stacks, for sure. Any future multiverse team-up films you would love to see after this film with different characters? I want to see Deadpool and Spider-Man. I say it every stream. Somebody always asks me. I want to see Deadpool and Spider-Man. They're some of the most fun connections and team-ups in the comic books. They're just two really funny personalities together. I would love to see Deadpool and Spider-Man. Whew. I personally want Cosmic Spidey. Cosmic Spidey, that sounds cool. Do you honestly think that all Spider-Man will show up? I honestly do believe that all Spider-Man will show up at this point. I have a hard time believing that that isn't the case. Just from leaks and rumors, they all are saying that they're in it. Obviously, you can't believe them all. They're not all real. They're not all true. They're not all accurate, but they're not all wrong either. I think every movie that's come out, between all of the plot leaks that Warren and I have covered, researched, and seen, one of them is always right. Give me rent. You get your rent when you fix this damn door. Like I said in the last stream, No Way Home might be revolutionary. 100%. I think it will be a game changer. It will be a record breaker if everything that we think is happening in it is true. Do you think we will see James Franco return as Hobgoblin? No, I do not. I think he's going through some legal stuff right now, and I do not believe that he will be included because Disney doesn't like to deal with people who are dealing with that legal stuff. M-Man June 10 just subbed. I have a question. What would you think if this was a movie based on Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions? I'm not 100% familiar with Shattered Dimensions. I have heard of it. I don't think that it's going to be based on Shattered Dimensions entirely. I think we'll get aspects of it, especially from the Doctor Strange inclusion and stuff like that. That's very similar. But we'll have to wait and see. I do think Marvel tries to get different inspirations from different comics, and they make it their own storyline the best they can. James. Yes, we loved Cruella. I was pleasantly surprised with it, as was I. I didn't think it was going to be as good. Emma Stone, fantastic actress. She killed it. She did a really, really good job, and overall the movie was very exciting. It's kind of sad that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4 and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man 3 got canceled before. Well, at least Tom Holland's Spider-Man No Way Home didn't get canceled, and now we're going to get them all, and it will be very exciting. How could they not show the other Spider-Man when they showed Doc Ock and Goblin's bomb? You know, there's a lot of different things that go into making a movie like this happen. We don't know all the behind-the-scene details. It's possible Tobey Maguire said, no, I am never putting on a Spider-Man outfit again. I hated those movies. I hate what it's done to my life, and I resent everything about it. That's not necessarily the case. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's a possibility. We don't know the behind-the-scene details. If they couldn't get Andrew, because everybody made fun of Andrew, and nobody liked his Spider-Man, and everybody said his movie was the worst, and Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire are better, now I'm not going to go and be with those two. Those are things that could happen, and if they couldn't get them, they couldn't get them. I'm hoping they did. I'm hoping it happens. But I believe their intention was to get them, and I believe we will see them, yes. Saw a topic about the Coldest Water is the new product, or saw a topic about the Coldest Water. Is that a new product or something cool? So, yes, this is actually the sponsor of the video. I talked about it at the beginning. They did send me this bottle. Full disclosure, this is an ad. They reached out to me. They sent me this bottle. They asked me to talk about it, and they even got my little YouTube name on the back with a little logo design there, which is cool. It's a fantastic bottle. They have a ton of different colors and sizes. You can check them out in the link in the description. You can either use that link to get a discount or use Cosmic10, I believe is the code. You'll see it down there. Definitely worth checking out if you like bottles like this. I've owned a few, and this is my favorite. The straw works really well. The colors are a lot of fun, and they have a ton of different sizes. So feel free to check them out. You'll be supporting the channel if you buy one, and you'll get a cool water bottle. They say that Green Goblin will get a purple and green style to his suit like the comics. That would be really cool. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Do you know Pocket's a type of person like Rocket? No, I do not. They say the Green Goblin, I read that already. Has Tom Holland signed for another trilogy yet? I heard he met with Feige about it. I do not think we've seen the end of Tom Holland. I don't know if he's getting another trilogy per se. I think he will be included in a lot of movies. Hopefully we see him in Multiverse of Madness. But I would be very surprised if this was the end of Spider-Man. You know, this is the big ending. I don't think so. Has Tom Andrew is so good. Andrew is so good. A lot of people like him, and I don't have any issue with him at all. He's not my favorite. He probably is my third favorite. But don't have any issue with him. So there is no chance that the two other Spider-Man to show up. That's not what I believe. I think we'll see them. I think we'll see them, personally. While I'm hyped for this movie, I feel like there may be too much nostalgia bait that panders to us who grew up with the old movies. I don't think that's a bad thing, GNO. I think if it doesn't deliver, it's a problem. If it's all, hey, look, all of these old heroes, and then the movie's just not good, then yeah, that's sad, because they've kind of been pulling on our streams. But if they use that pandering of our nostalgic and our excitement of old characters that we used to love, and they pull it off, for me, that's just a win. Do you think the Raimi films, the Avengers, exist, or was it just Tobey Maguire? Imagine a battle in New York in the Raimi-verse, Bully Maguire putting some dirt in Thanos' eye. I think that'd be crazy to see. Honestly, I don't think that's an answer we'll ever get. Remember Dumamu came through in my last stream? Yeah, he did. He's a cool dude. He comes in a lot. If you could any of three Spider-Man... question gone. Out of all the Spider-Man movies, what is my favorite? Probably the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Could this be the start of a new Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie? Sony could do it. Sony could do it. They make no sense. I don't think we'll get a whole new series. I've heard one of the Spider-Man are going to remain in the MCU and get their own movie. Any other Marvel characters from older movies or TV shows you'd want brought back as variants? I'd like to see Iron Man again. I know I'm not a popular opinion on this one. I know a lot of people don't necessarily want to see Iron Man. They don't want to demean his sacrifice, but I would love to see an Iron Man return. I love Iron Man. He's a fantastic character. He's a lot of fun, just, the way he is. So yeah, maybe somebody else playing Iron Man in a cameo scene or in a big fight connection up in Multiverse of Madness would be a lot of fun. I don't know who I'd like to play him. I don't think I want Leonardo or Tom Cruise to do it. I know that they both wanted to be Iron Man at one point. But I don't know. Those are thoughts. Why did Toby say those things? I mean, the thing that he hates to role in Spider-Man movie. He didn't say those. That was a hypothetical sentence. Sorry for being confusing. I'm saying if he were to say that and didn't want to return and wouldn't come back, they can't make him be Spider-Man. He didn't say that stuff's not stuff he ever said. I'm just saying you don't know what happens behind the scenes. Sorry if that confused you. Do I think Lizard is coming back? Yes, I do think Epic Cool Kid 25 that Lizard will be making a return. I'd love to see him back too. I would love to see him back too. Hey y'all, if you're not in my Discord, here's a link. Go join it. Be involved. Love to see you join it. Also, here's my Twitter. Go join it. Love to see you join it. I'm working hard to grow my Twitter, and Discord has a ton of you guys in it. We have over 300 people involved and being members in Discord, so join that. And Twitter, I post daily news about all major movie and television stuff. Who am I most excited for to see in Spider-Man No Way Home? I'm pretty pumped to see Green Goblin again, and we got a full confirmation that he's going to be there. What's my opinion of Doc Ock returning despite his story arc ending with a satisfying conclusion in Spider-Man 2? I'm not a person that minds, but his story's so good, don't bring him back. I don't think that it's an issue. I don't think that opening a story back up demeans what happened before. Personally, that a lot of people think like, his story was so good, why would we bring him back? You know what? Because he's a cool character, and I'd love to see him. Tom and Andrew will probably be grossed out by Toby's natural webs. Yeah, that would be really funny. I listen to your streams as a podcast. That's all right. Maybe I should download them and make them a podcast somewhere. I don't know anything about how to make podcasts. For somebody who's a YouTuber full-time and Twitch and TikTok and all that stuff, I don't actually know anything about a podcast. But I'm glad you listen, and I'm glad you enjoy, and thank you for being here. What do you think will happen after No Way Home with Spider-Man? I think he will still be around. I think the amount of money they're making off of Spider-Man, and I hate to go the money route, but is just too good of a reason for him to disappear. It's kind of hard to get rid of characters and to just say, they're busy, especially when we're this involved in their lives. We'll have to wait and see, though. Do I think that Marvel will make shows for the other two Peters, just like Toby paying rent and Andrew not saving blondes? I've heard one will die and one will get his own movie. I don't know if that's accurate. We'll have to wait and see. I missed the part where that's my problem. Do you think Tobey Maguire in No Way Home will be a father? Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know if I think that would happen, but that would be really cool. Hoot boy. Chill vibes in this stream. Thank you. We try to have a very positive community, and I enjoy sitting here with you guys and talking about everything going on in all the movie news. Obviously, right now we're talking a ton about Spider-Man, but we cover all things DC, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, anything really exciting that's going on, we love to talk about. So right now, all of the attention is on Spider-Man No Way Home, and if that's what you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about it. I would love to see Venom eventually join the MCU and the rest of the Spider-Man characters, since Sony technically has all rights to every 900 Spider-Man related character. So yeah, no, I would like to see that as well. I think what Sony wants is for Spider-Man to join Venom, not Venom to join Spider-Man. I feel like that's the big argument. Marvel's like, yeah, sure, we'll bring your Venom over. And Sony's like, wait. We want Spider-Man to come over to Venom. We want Venom 3 to be Spider-Man versus Venom. And Marvel's like, no, you can bring Venom over. And that's the argument, I think. I think that's what's going on. I want a Cyborg origin movie done right. I do too. And we're not going to get one anytime soon, I don't believe. Hopefully at DC Fandom we get some update about that, though. When I think of Marvel, I don't think of gore. Well, hopefully we don't get too much gore. I don't imagine we will be getting a lot of gore. I think they have been using it a little bit to make points, like with Captain America. But I don't think they're going to turn into a big, huge, gory disaster. Toby to his daughter, remember child, don't pay rent. We missed the part where that's our problem. Would you say Tom Holland will continue in Sony's cinematic universe and Miles Morales going to appear in Marvel? Although that is possible, I don't think we will see... I don't know. Tom Holland would definitely make room in Sony's universe. They want him. We'll have to wait and see. Man, if only they had bought Spider-Man to Venom before Carnage so that they could be a Maximum Carnage story. And, you know, we very well might still get one eventually down the line. I don't have any answers immediately, but I hope we do. Would I like to see... Bill Smith, thank you for subscribing. Would you like to see the Woman of Spider-Man in the film together? Yeah, I definitely think we'll end up going that direction as well. I don't know if MJ and Emma Stone will both be returning. MJ from Tobey Maguire's universe. It would be really cool to see them. On Teen Titans Go, it's an abomination. It never should have happened. The original Teen Titans is a baller show. For a child, it was a very complicated show to watch, and I loved every second of it. I hated Teen Titans Go. Do you think Doctor Strange is possessed? No, I do not. I think that'd be too confusing for viewers to understand who aren't hardcore fans like you guys. The real villain is Mr. Djokovic. Carnage needs gore. Probably fits with Deadpool. Deadpool versus Carnage MCU film. That'd be really cool. There is a comic storyline where Venom takes over Deadpool. And it's super funny. And dark. Off topic, but is there really going to be a Ben Affleck Batman? Ben Affleck's Batman is rumored heavily to return in the Flash movie. I do not believe we're getting another Ben Affleck Batman film. He's done with the character to that extent. I do believe he will be very... slightly involved in the Flash movie. Do you think there will be a Doctor Strange variant where he's evil? Maybe somewhere in the Multiverse of Madness we might see that. I don't think we'll see that in Spider-Man. Will we see Marvel zombies in Multiverse of Madness? I find that to be unlikely. We will see Marvel zombies in What If, though. I remember I watched Jurassic Park 2 and got scared at the start. Jurassic Park as a child, I don't know how old you were, as a younger kid, was very scary. I love Jurassic Park. It's a lot of fun, and I think the Jurassic World movies have all been very successful and a lot of fun, and I'm super excited for Jurassic World Dominion. But they definitely are a little scary. Does Batman going to show up? Yes, Batman is going to show up in The Flash, not in Spider-Man. Would you rather Toby or Andrew die? I think it makes more sense that Toby dies, because it would be the biggest emotional, just gut-wrenching pain. But I don't know how much I could handle seeing Toby die. Not going to lie. That would be very difficult to watch. The original Teen Titans did respect the intelligence of its young audience. And quite frankly, I remember watching it as a very young audience. And I understood and followed everything. Cosmic Culture. Warren is on the stream. He's not here. I believe he's not even home right now. But he does live in this house. The biggest problem is that Sony is forced to make Spider-Man movies because of the contract they made with Marvel. Because if they don't, Sony would lose their rights on Spidey. Exactly. So they just keep pumping out these Spider-Man films because the second it becomes dormant for a certain amount of time, they do lose the rights. You're 100% accurate. If the Spider-Verse was done in the 2000s or earlier, how would you feel about that? I don't think it would be nearly as good as it's about to be at the end of the year of 2021 when we do get it. Who might fit for the Batman movie Joker? Is there any news on that movie? No news right now. Last I heard, they are making a second, which I don't believe they were originally planning on, and even Joaquin Phoenix wasn't planning on doing a second, but I think they actually threw enough money at him to make a second happen, and I do believe Batman is not involved. Very curious to see how they balance so many characters. Tom, Toby, Doctor Strange, MJ, Doc, Green Goblin, Electro, Spider-Man, the Lizard, Vulture, Mysterio, and Scorpion. It will be a lot of work. Some of them might not get as much screen time. Hopefully we get some really cool scenes with each of them in different combinations, and I really hope that happens. You have a theory that Loki might be Doctor Strange doing these crazy spells. It's a crazy theory. I don't personally believe it, but that's okay. Why don't I do a what-if breakdown? That's an awesome question. To be completely honest, there is not as much excitement for what if as there were for maybe Loki or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And those nights, I'll walk you through what we do those nights. 12 o'clock my time, we prepare to go live. We set up our streams. Me and Warren both. After the show ends, at about 1:30 our time, Then me and him talk for about an hour on a live stream with two different YouTube channels, talking about the film, being involved and chatting with all you guys. After that's over at about 2 o'clock, 2:30, Warren usually does a breakdown video, which is going to be about 20 minutes long. So I have to go back, rewatch the film, or rewatch the show to get all of the pictures from it, because I screenshot them all, so that we can have them for the videos. Then he sends me different parts of these videos, 20 minutes long usually for these breakdowns, keep in mind. So that's a very long time and a lot of editing with a lot of different pictures from a 30-minute episode. And he breaks down pretty fine details. After that's all done, at about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, he posts his videos. And in between intervals of that, I would also be doing my own breakdown. That's a very long night. And to be completely honest with you guys, there's just not enough. There's just not enough excitement for me to put that much work into it. And I hope that doesn't sound wrong. I just don't think enough people care for it to be worth my time in the middle of all of that craziness. Would you like to see the new Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom movie, like any reference from The Lost World or Jurassic Park 3? I would like to see references, of course. I would love to see it. They recently played some footage in the CinemaCon event. They showed some footage, and they were calling all of the characters from the original Jurassic Park Legacy characters, because they are involved in this next Jurassic World movie, and they were calling all the other characters world characters. Are you and Warren roommates? Yes, we have been for 4 years, I'll say. I'm currently living in his house. He owns the house we're living in. But before that, we lived in an apartment together. Then we rented a house together. He bought a house. Before that, he actually lived in my college dorm for a while. And that's when we started working on the original Cosmic Wonder YouTube channel. What if it's amazing animation is the best way to do it and people shouldn't care about it, honestly? What if is amazing animation is the best way to do it and people should care about it? Oh, I agree. I like What If. Don't take what I'm saying wrong. I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. Some episodes are a little bit more boring than others. Like the second episode we got was a lot of fun. But that's just how it is. People just don't. A lot of people get lost because it's animation and they don't feel like it counts and it's real. But it is canon. It is real, and it's all a lot of fun. If I could write any previous MCU movies, what would my ending be? I don't know how I would have changed a movie. I don't know. That's a good question. Ask me again another stream and I'll try to have an answer for you. How old are you and Warren? Warren is 32 years old and I am 25 years old. Personally, I agree Toby should die compared to Andrew, because although Andrew doesn't have a love interest, MJ can join, but Toby got a happy ending, although Harry did die. I just think Toby would have the biggest impact. Most people love Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. There's not much to not like about him. He's fantastic. So I just think it would be the most impactful. In my opinion, Walking Joker does not need another movie, and the story is told, but I'm curious about the plot in Joker 2. I agree. I don't think he does. But imagine how cool would it be if they make another one, and it's all about him creating his underground, his mob, his crime. That'd be kind of crazy. How would you like to think Spider-Man 3 Spider-Man? How likely do you think? I think it's very likely. I'm sitting at about 92% that it's going to happen. I wonder if Doc Ock will still be evil, or nice. By the looks of it, I think he will be evil, but I wonder if his story will carry on. I think he's going to be evil. For sure. If Toby was in the MCU, do you think he trusts Tony, or do you think he would be harsh towards Tony? I feel like you have to trust Tony. What odds do you have? I think Tom Holland and Iron Man had a better, cool relationship that would be hard to top, but I don't think he couldn't trust him. Hi, Chris. It's crazy to think that Sony put all 3 Spider-Man theme songs in .25 speed on the No Way Home trailer. Yeah, it was really cool to hear. Very nostalgic, and it really kind of smacked at me. If you or Warren could direct a Marvel film, what kind would you like to do? I like the Thor Ragnarok style movies, like a Taika Waititi kind of movie. I thought it was a lot of fun to watch. I think it would be a lot of fun to be involved with. I'm definitely more prone to the goofing off kind of fun tones, opposed to the scary dark tones. That's my opinion. What is my favorite movie of all time? The Princess Bride. Fantastic film. I think if the multiverse was made before, I think Blade, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Daredevil, Punisher, Fantastic Four, and more would be in one movie? Oh, there would be so much involved. There would be so much more. But I just don't think it would have been done as well. The MCU right now is just at a peak of cinema creation. In 2022, do you think the Spider-Man movies would join Disney Plus? That's up to Sony, and honestly, probably not. Maybe Sony will use Spider-Man for pure Spider-Man stories, and Disney for having interactions with other characters. We'll have to wait and see. Sony's pretty crazy. How you grow beard? I just don't shave it. I don't put any magic potions in it or anything like that. I just don't cut it, and it grows. I got a little lucky with my beard. It looks good, I think. Maybe not. If I could cameo in any Marvel film from the past or the future, which one would I cameo in? Have a good one, Manette. Thank you for joining and being a part of the stream, buddy. It'd be cool to be in Avengers Endgame and be in the big, huge group of people running out. What's up from Regina, Canada? Me and my 7-year-old nephew love you and Warren's channels. Keep it up. The Death Star 91. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being a part of the stream. Tell your nephew hello, and thanks for being a fan. Do you think there will be a Toby Spider-Man 4 after No Way Home? I think it's possible that we will be seeing one of the other two Spider-Man get a next film. I don't know if it'll be Toby or Andrew. I think it would make a lot of sense. I think it would be a lot of fun, and it's a good way for Sony to be really involved. I think after 5 to 6 years, there would be a new Spider-Man storyline, I guess. It's probably likely that that's going to happen. Yeah, that would be cool because we saw that Joker got a lot of impact on Gotham Citizen, especially on the underground. That's how many he is going to create his criminal way. And I think he'll build his whole thing, and it'll be really fun to see him become an actual villain. So we got his origin story and how he became Joker and went off the deep end. Now we get to see what happens shortly after, and I think that would be pretty cool, yes. I want a Batman Beyond film. I, too, want a Batman Beyond film. I loved Batman Beyond. You got to go. See ya. Thank you for being a part of my podcast, of our talk show, Ellen, and have a good day. I would love to see Nick Cage Ghost Rider directed properly. Can't wait for Doctor Doom to show up, Mephisto as well, and the Sons of Midnight, or Midnight Suns, sorry. I would love to see Midnight Suns as well. I look like Jason Momoa. Cool. He's a cool dude. I'm Aquaman. Yeah, that'd be all right. I'm all right with that. I got no complaints. All right, guys, throw in some of your final questions. We probably going to be finishing up here. I'm past an hour and some, so let's. Any last questions we're going to get? Thank you guys so much for joining for this this live stream. Had a blast hanging out with all you guys. What's my favorite DC movie of all time? Probably The Dark Knight, Batman. Fantastic film. Absolutely gorgeous. Loved it. Joker was really good as well, though. I mean, Sony does like money, and Disney Plus having Spider-Man Premier Access would get so much money. I agree. But I just don't think it's going to happen. Who would I cast as Gwen in the MCU if they were to bring her in? Ooh. I don't know. That's a good one. I'd like to see, like, my answer always goes back to the same thing. I want to see somebody fresh, somebody new, somebody who isn't already famous. Will they ever do a sequel to Ghost Rider? Probably not. That's probably done with. Do you think Sony will bond the symbiote with Tom Holland's Spider-Man? I hope so. Another off-topic comic, but does anyone miss Freddy Krueger and Jason movies? I think they should make more. They probably will at some point. We're getting a new Halloween Kills and a new Candyman this year, so there's always room for more. Last one, what's my favorite Marvel movie of all time? I don't know. They're all so good. It's hard to compare them. The original Iron Man for me was just a very important individual film for reasons maybe not necessarily because it was the best, but I remember watching it and it was just very incredible for me. And I always rewatch Iron Man probably more than any other one, so I'll say Iron Man 1. They were going to make an Aunt May spy film, for gosh sake. That'd be fun. They should reboot for Jaws. No, they should not. I'm happy with the Jaws we have. Stop it, Ninja Paws. All right, guys. Civil War is yours. That's a great pick. I think Spider-Man, next man, I must go try and stay alert for the next catch-up. Can't wait to see your other videos. Bye for now. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Nate the Great. And I think we'll leave it off on that, guys. I'm going to drop a couple links here. If anybody's interested in checking out our Discord, please feel free to join. We have a good group of people in there all chatting about movies and all the major stuff that comes out. Also, my Twitter, I am very active on it, and I'm trying to grow it. So I'll see you all there as well. Thank you guys so much for joining. been a blast. Do I think Matt Murdock is the star of No Andrew because it is a scene? Yes, I do think that is him. Okay, I gotta stop answering questions because I'll be here all day. I love chatting with you guys. It is a lot of fun. Join those 2 links. I'll drop them one more time before we go off. And we do this every Saturday, so I will see you guys next Saturday for Cosmic Culture, for Culture Catch-Up, and we will have also another live stream watch party this week as well on Tuesday. So I'd love to see you all there as well. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you here next time